The AI revolution, cloud computing, and data centers all run on a dirty secret. Data centers now consume more energy than entire countries. For example, 3 times more energy than Argentina, a country of over 45 million people. As demand for AI processing explodes, we're heading for a power crisis. But could the very companies creating this problem be funding its solution? In this video, we'll pull back the curtain on some corporate venture capital and billion-dollar bets to build sustainable and efficient data centers of the future. I'm Geis, and this is AI Venture Watch. Okay, I have brought out 2 sectors here to explore: cloud service providers and data center energy management. This is a more focused sector, specifically trying to deal with the problem that we're discussing. These are just some of the companies that fit in each of these categories or sectors, but some of these companies we know. Here's Google Cloud, and here's AWS and Microsoft Azure. But there's a couple companies here that we want to explore in more detail as cloud service providers. For example, first of all, let's take a look at Coreweave. Now, Coreweave is a specialized AI cloud provider with a different strategies than the hyperscalers that we just seen. Coreweave is vertically integrating with respect to power. Instead of relying on PPAs or power purchase agreements, it is trying to get direct control over power. For example, it's a pending $9 billion acquisition of Core Scientific, a former crypto miner. Will give it control of a very large, high-powered data center. So that's Coreweave. Now, I want to show you something about Coreweave. Coreweave is now a public company, but in its private days, Nvidia invested in this company as a corporate venture capital player. In fact, Nvidia invested in this company at around, one of the investments was at $2.5 billion. And that was maybe 3 years ago or so, 2 years ago. Let me take a look. Yeah, it was May of 2023. Now, Coreweave today is a public company, some of you may know, and it's valued today, as I speak, at around $50 billion or so. So NVIDIA's investment has paid off quite nicely. That's Coreweave. Another company here that we want to take a look at is Crusoe. Now, you'll see NVIDIA is also invested in Crusoe. We'll see that in just a minute. But Crusoe is also going after a vertical integration strategy as a cloud provider, but it is working with what is called stranded energy. Now, it is working to be able to make a significant contribution to energy management by its use of what it calls DFM, or digital flare mitigation. This has to do with the waste of energy from natural gas flaring at oil production sites. So it's locating its services, deploying modular data centers close to oil fields where it's capturing this stranded natural gas. That is Crusoe. Now, NVIDIA invested in Crusoe. I think this was not too long ago. Let's take a look. Yeah, in December of 2024. And at that point, Crusoe is still a private company, but this last post money was $2.8 billion, not too dissimilar from the investment we just saw in Coreweave by NVIDIA. So these are some interesting cloud service providers. In fact, it turns out that with respect to Coreweave, Microsoft has a very big deal with Coreweave to support some of its needs with respect to cloud service going forward. I believe it's a 5-year agreement that's valued at multiple billions of dollars. Now, I want to move over to this other sector here, which is data center energy. Okay, and this one, there's some companies that I brought back that focused more specifically on dealing with the maybe future technology as to how to improve data center energy management. A couple companies I want to look at. We can't look at them all for the sake of time, but let's take a look at Lightmatter. Lightmatter is working to improve energy efficiency in data centers by replacing traditional electronic computation and data transfer with light instead of electricity. Their Nvidia processors are more efficient, using far less power and heat than traditional electronic type of processing. So they're using optical connections, again, to reduce the heat and other types of power usage that is traditionally found in data centers. So, and using a fraction of the energy that is traditionally found. Now, I want to note something about Lightmatter. Alphabet has been a major corporate venture capital investor in Lightmatter. In fact, you see here, based on this infographic, it was invested in at least 3 rounds. It funded a Series A valuation at $31 million, and that was, I believe, in 2017. Then it led a C2 investment round at $1.2 billion. And here is the latest investment that we have information on, October 16th, 2024. Alphabet GV, its venture capital arm, invests again in a Series D in Lightmatter. The post money is now $4.4 billion. So this is Lightmatter. Now, one other company I want to examine is nEye. This is a very interesting company because you'll see Alphabet, Microsoft, and Nvidia are all a corporate venture capital investor in nEye. So nEye is developing next generation hardware for AI infrastructure. The core innovation is what they call OCS, an optical circuit switch, instead of routing data between GPUs and other processors through power-hungry electrical switches. nEye's technology uses microscopic mirrors to steer beams of light, all optical pathways for data. Again, dramatic improvements in performance and energy. Now, if it seems to you that these two companies might be competitors, nEye and Lightmatter, probably they are. And you'll see that Alphabet is betting on more than one horse with respect to how this might win. Of course, both of these companies might be successful in the market. We can't say that necessarily one just prevails. And there may be other players that are playing in this optical space. But it's intriguing here that how active these companies are, Alphabet, Microsoft, and Nvidia, and others, in dealing with this data center energy management crisis, which we're currently facing. All right. Well, the race is on to decouple AI processing growth from energy growth. And corporate venture capital is a major fuel in that race. The question may no longer be if we can build an efficient digital world, but who will build it the fastest, and what ventures will benefit by providing solutions to our energy needs.